Hello children, I am here with third part of the chapter Atomic Structure, and in this part we will discuss about Planck's quantum theory, dual nature of light or de Broglie's hypothesis, and third is Heisenberg uncertainty principle. First is Planck's quantum theory. Till now we have learned that the waves are the radiation is coming out when electron is jumping from lower energy level, when electron is jumping from higher to lower energy level, and these are emitted in the form of radiations. Okay, till now we have done this. Now here, according to Planck's quantum theory, he said that these radiations are not in the form of wave, they are made up of particles, tiny particles. Okay, so this Planck's quantum theory states that the radiation which is coming out in the form of wave, these are made up of tiny particles, very very tiny particles. Okay, and these particles are in the form of these tiny particles. These particles are coming in the form of packets. Okay, packets of energy, tiny packets of energy, and these energy or packet of energy is known as quanta or photon. Okay, when the electron is jumping back to the lower energy level, it will radiate some energy, or energy is released in the form of radiation. This radiation was observed on the screen, and it was that time it was known that it is only wave. Okay, these radiation are only waves, but Planck suggests that these waves are made up of very tiny particles. Okay, that means these waves are made up of particles, and they are coming in the form of packets, just like this. Suppose this is small packet in which energy is there, and this is another packet in which energy is there. Form of packet of energy, and it is quanta. Quanta means they have fixed energy. Okay, then that means each packet has fixed amount of energy in it. Okay, so that's why it is known as quantum theory. Okay, or you can conclude that the radiation which is coming here, or light which is coming here, these are not waves. Okay, so what they are particles. Okay, light is not wave, these are made up of very tiny particle. You can write here tiny particles, and these tiny particles are coming in the form of packets of energy. Small packets are there, and each packet has fixed energy or quanta, and you can say that these are photons. Now this Planck quantum theory give one equation for energy. It is coming in the form of energy. Okay, packets of energy. So the equation given here, suppose this is a wave, it has wavelength lambda, velocity v, and frequency it is mu. Okay, so energy is equal to h mu. Okay, or you can say that mu is equal to velocity upon lambda. Okay, and here it is in the form of light, so velocity will be equal to the speed of light upon lambda. Now this equation will be E is equal to h mu. This will is equal to mu value is here c upon lambda. So you can say that energy is equal to Planck constant into speed of light upon wavelength of the light. E is equal to h mu is equal to hc upon lambda, where h is Planck constant, c is velocity of light, and lambda is wavelength of the light. So here h is Planck constant, mu is frequency of wave, lambda is wavelength, and E is energy of one small packet. Okay, energy of, or you can say tiny particle. Tiny particle. So that tiny particle which is moving in the form of wave, that tiny particle has some energy, and this energy equation you can write h mu is equal to hc upon lambda, or you can say here photon. Next is de Broglie hypothesis. Okay, till now the Planck has suggested us that light has dual nature, that is wave as well as particle nature. Okay, so this is known as dual nature of light, and it is proposed by Planck's. Okay, now de Broglie's hypothesis means it is not proved, it is just an idea, or just an theory proposed by, theory means the knowledge proposed by de Broglie. Okay, so he said that these tiny particles are very tiny. Okay, tiny particle. So he assumed that that much small particle, maybe it is just like electron, and when electron is moving, it will show wave as well as particle nature, and it will appear just like light. Now see, he suggests that the tiny particle is electron, and this electron will move in the form of wave, and it has particle nature. Okay, particle nature. So again you can say that de Broglie suggests that electron also has dual nature. Okay, it was for electron dual nature was proposed by de Broglie, and light dual nature is proposed by Planck's quantum theory. So he proposed that the wavelength of electron is equal to h upon m mass of electron and v velocity of electron. Okay, so he proposed that the wavelength of electron is h upon mass of electron and velocity of electron. But here you can say that these wavelength or calculation for dual nature, it is applicable only for very tiny particles. It is not for all, it is not for all moving object. Okay, it is not for all moving object, it is only for very tiny particle which is in motion, that is having velocity and they have mass. Okay, tiny particle have mass and velocity. It is not for all moving objects, it is only for very tiny moving, it is for very tiny moving particles. Okay, moving particles. Or this equation you can write h upon p, where p is momentum, mass into velocity. Okay, so this is another form of this equation in which mv is converted into momentum of photon. P is momentum photon, momentum of photon. Now see children, if electron is moving, then it has kinetic energy also. And what is the formula for kinetic energy? It is half mv square. Okay, and just now we have calculated that half, or you can say momentum is mass into velocity, or velocity you can write momentum upon mass of electron. So put this value of v here as a v square, so it will be p square upon m square. This v square will be P square upon m square. So m will get cancelled. Now what is left? P square upon 2m. Okay, and this is your equation for kinetic energy. Or for momentum you can write, taking square both side, it will be kinetic energy into 2m. Okay, now see children, lambda is equal to h upon p, that we have discussed just now. So h upon p you can write kinetic energy into 2m. So this equation is very important. If wavelength is given, or you can calculate kinetic energy, or if kinetic energy is given in the equation, you can calculate wavelength. Okay, so mark this one as important equation. Now there is one numerical based on this equation. Here kinetic energy is given, you have to calculate de Broglie wavelength. So formula, first step, there are steps I have told you many times that you have to follow the steps. You will write first the formula, whatever you are using for this numerical. Okay, so first step you will get marks for this, and second step, or first is given kinetic energy is, this is your answer, 4.55 into 10 to the power minus 25 joule. This is given part, you will get marks here. After that you will write formula, you will get marks over here. And next step is for calculation. Put all the values children. Lambda is equal to h is Planck's constant. Its value is 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 under root. Kinetic energy is 4.55 10 to the power minus 25, and 2 mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31. So after solving this you will get the value of lambda, and which is in Armstrong. Now next is Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Uncertainty means children, it is not certain, not fixed. Okay, and it is applicable for only very tiny particle, or you can say microscopic particle. Okay, tiny particle or microscopic particle. Now Heisenberg's uncertainty principle states that if any tiny means very very small particle or microscopic moving particle has wave nature, okay, just like an electron, then it is impossible to determine the accurate and simultaneous value of position and momentum. Okay, that means suppose if any small particle is moving, okay, so if you want to calculate its position, suppose it has mass m and velocity v, so you can calculate its momentum mv, but the position, that is x position, you will not able to calculate. Okay, simultaneous and accurate value. Okay, it is impossible to determine both these simultaneously and accurately. If you are calculating momentum, then position you will not able to calculate. If you will calculate the position, suppose x position, you know where it is, suppose it is here, and you know what is the position of that particle on this wave. So if position is known, then momentum you will not able to calculate. So it means that when any tiny particle is moving, okay, it has wave nature, then you will not able to calculate both position and momentum simultaneously and accurately. Accurately means exact value, means exact value will not be able to, we will not be able to calculate. Okay, now let's take an example of this moving car. Suppose it is very tiny or microscopic car. Okay, you can say it is microscopic, very tiny car. it has some mass, it is moving, so you can say it is moving with the velocity. You know the mass of this car and velocity by which it is moving. Okay, so you can say that the momentum P of this car you can calculate. Okay, but at what position this car is, that the value you will not able to calculate this value, where at the moment this car is, what is the position of that car, it is impossible to determine the position of very small tiny microscopic particle having mass as well as velocity. So if momentum you are calculating, then position you will not able to calculate. Okay. Now second condition, this is first condition and this one is second condition. Suppose this tiny moving car or microscopic car, you know what is the position, where it is at that moment. You know its position. Position is known to you. So at that moment you will not able to calculate its momentum. Okay, that means mass and velocity of this car you will not able to calculate. Okay, cannot calculate its mass and velocity. So you can conclude that at the same time we cannot calculate both momentum and position of tiny particle. Okay, means at the same time means if it is moving, so at that moment you will not able to calculate its momentum or mass and velocity. If its mass velocity is known, momentum you can calculate, but at that time you will not able to find its position. So it is the point is that at same time we cannot calculate both momentum and position of tiny moving particle. Okay, tiny moving particle. On this theory he proposed, Heisenberg proposed his theory, and he said that there is certain error in both position and momentum of tiny particle which is always greater than or equal to h upon 4 pi. Okay, h upon 4 pi, where h is Planck constant and 4 pi is also constant. Okay, now see children, you can write where delta x is error in position and delta p is error in momentum. Now see children, this error in momentum, suppose any particle has mass m, so that you know what is the mass, but the error is due to the presence of error in the velocity. Okay, due to its motion some error will be in velocity. You all know that mass into velocity is momentum. So delta p is equal to m delta v. Okay, this error in momentum is due to this error in velocity. So you can write delta x dot, in place of p you will write m delta v is greater than equal to h upon 4 pi. Okay. Next is defect in Bohr's model. After the de Broglie's equation and Heisenberg uncertainty principle, they found that there is some defect in Bohr's model. It was only particle, but they found that the moving particle has wave as well as particle nature. So they found that some defect is there in the Bohr's model, and first it states that Bohr's model is valid only for single electron species, or you can say hydrogen atom or hydrogen atom. Okay, suppose if we are taking helium, so it will not, this model will not valid for helium. Helium has mass number, atomic number 2. So 2 electrons are there. So helium will be He plus. Then it has 1 electron. So it will not explain the structure for helium. This model can explain He plus, because here only 1 electron is there. Like that, lithium 3 is the atomic number. So it is only for single electron species. So Li 2 plus, if it is forming, that means it has again 1 electron left. So it will not deal with this, but it can deal with this. Okay, wherever 1 electron is present, this Bohr model is valid. If it is more than that, it will not valid. Here also it is not valid, but here it is valid because it has 1 electron. Second defect was, he proposed that electron has particle nature, and that particle is moving in a fixed orbit, and that was proved wrong by de Broglie's hypothesis, and he said that it has wave as well as particle nature. Okay, so this particle nature is now, and it is not moving in a fixed orbit. Okay, and it is not moving in a fixed orbit. Okay, later in next video I will discuss in what place electron is found. It is orbital. Okay, orbital or orbital. Third is, he said that radius and velocity can be calculated for any electron in any orbit, but this theory of Bohr's model is also was having some defect in it, and that defect was removed by Heisenberg uncertainty principle. And this principle states that the position and velocity of an electron can never be determined simultaneously and accurately. Okay, and this statement was proved wrong by Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Okay, so this point was also proved wrong. Next defect was that Bohr's model has not explained the splitting of spectral lines. Okay, that the spectra which is forming on the screen, they are also splitting up in further fine lines. Okay, so this model has not explained that splitting of spectral lines in the magnetic field and electric field. Okay, this splitting of spectral line in magnetic field is called Zeeman effect. Zeeman effect. Splitting of spectral line in the magnetic field is called Zeeman's effect, and in the electric field it is called Stark effect. Stark effect. So magnetic field Zeeman effect and electric field Stark effect. Next was that he has not explained the ultra fine lines. Okay, ultra fine lines formed in the spectrum. So children, these are the defects of Bohr's model, or you can say drawbacks of Bohr's model.